Welcome back to my No Waffle Straight to the Point channel. My name's Pete Webster. I'm going to be talking about things to do with AI automation agencies and building chatbots. So I'm really excited today to show you how to build a chatbot in Voiceflow that interacts with a Google Calendar. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so we're going to start a new assistant in Voiceflow and then give it a name. So we press build it assistant and we're just going to go for a straight web chat. I'm not really going to go into this too much. These are simple things that you should know how to do in Voiceflow already. Okay, now as Voiceflow usually does, it usually puts a template up already. We don't need any of these. I'm just going to change that to trackpad so that we can quickly just grab them and delete all of this. I don't know why, for some reason my zoom isn't working properly. I've got to manually do it this way to zoom out. I've also had some other problems, probably because of the recording resolution which I'm using, where menus aren't showing very well. But I will make sure that you see everything you need to see to complete these steps. So we're going to go back to mouse there, and then we're going to just get rid of this last piece, and then we can make a start. So I found that going up to here allows us to create the variables a little bit quicker, and it's a bit neater on the flow on the screen. So we're just going to go ahead and create the A date variable, B date, time slots, date check, which we'll be using date check quite a lot, and then count TS. Okay, that's all our variables created. So we're just going to go and add a text box, and obviously you're going to put whatever message you want for your client. Obviously this bot will join on the end of your bot that does whatever that needs to do in order to get the person to the stage where they need to make an appointment with you, and that's what the purpose of this particular bot, or the part one of this bot is for. So it's basically to show the time that we have free in a calendar. Okay. So we're just going to put in here an example of how we want the date formatting. Hopefully most people will be able to work it out from that. However, we need to put some stuff in just in case people put an incorrect date in. But before we do that, we're just going to capture them typing in a date. It goes into the last utterance variable, and we need to do an action at the same time, and we need to store that also in this A date variable. So we're going to get a date off them, and it's going to get stored in this A date variable. So what we're saying here is the last utterance goes into the A date variable. So that's what that does. So now we just need to put a little bit of date checking procedure in place. And whilst we're down here, we're just going to put two text boxes, because we're going to get these going around in loops, which you'll see. So this one we're going to call invalid. So we're going to use this if they've put an invalid date in. and the same again, and we're going to use this one, and we're going to put the name of this as past. So if they've put a past date in, then it will take them here. So just put some text in here. And give a person again an example of a valid date. And just tell them here that they've put a past date in. So we'll be coming back to these in a moment, but it is important, the reason why we've named them now, and you'll see that later. Okay, so this is the first of our JavaScript that we're going to put in, which is going to check the dates. Okay, and I will explain just a little bit about the code, but it's all set up, so if you're a beginner, you don't really know how to code, don't worry about it, you'll just be able to copy and paste this in. So we go back to our JavaScript there, and we're going to paste that in. Now you'll notice there we've got two date checks that equals 1. The first date check that equals 1 is if it's today's date. So we're allowing it to put today's date in to see if we've got an appointment today. But if you don't want that, if you want only them to be able to do a future date, that first date check equals 1, you would just simply turn that to a 0. But what I've also done here is I've put it in for the USA. So the US day format's different. So all you would do is comment it out. If you wanted to use a USA date, comment out the British one. Okay, so the comments is 2 slashes basically. So that's about as much as I can tell you about that code there. That's the date check, that first one, that you would change to a 0 if you didn't want it to use today's date. Okay. So now we're going to put some logic in, and you'll see me coming in and out of the block. We're going to give it a condition, the name, which we're going to just say it's invalid. And we're going to add a condition. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for a variable. We're going to tell it to look at the date check variable. And we want it to find out if it is a 0. That means it's an invalid date. So if it's an 0, then we're going to tell it, now do this action. We're going to go to the block. This is why we named our blocks earlier on. So we're going to go down to the invalid block. Okay. Now you should be able to just put add condition, but it's a bit flaky sometimes. So that's why I'm coming out and going back in. So we're adding this second condition. It's the past. We're looking at what variable it is, right? We need our date check variable again. Okay, this time the code sends a 2 in date check if it's the past. And now we just need to tell it what action to do. Okay, so we go to action. Again, we're going to go to block. And we're going to tell it which block. You should by now be ahead of me and know that we're going to the past block. Okay, we're going to add the third condition, which is if it's a valid date. And again, we're going to get it to check this date check variable, which has been changed by that JavaScript code. And this time we're looking for a 1, which means it's a valid date. We can go on. Okay. So now we just need to tidy up 1 or 2 little things here. So we need to put our start block to the first block. And then these two here, these two here will loop. So if it's an invalid date, we want it to go back, ask them to put a date in again. And if it's a past date, we want them to do the same, go back, ask them to put a correct date in the future or today's date as we've got it in my code. So let's just test this now. You will see all the variables in there. If you wanted to slow it down, you could see what variables are what in the code. So you can slow down this video. Okay, so you can see there, that's the date check code coming out with whatever it's come out with. So there we go, the date was invalid. Now we've put past dates, telling us the date's passed. Asking us to enter another date in. We're going to correct date now, and there we go. So now the code has ended, and we need to add the next section. So if you find that last block, the condition block, isn't working properly, just try coming in and out of them and go for add condition. But now we're going to add another JavaScript. And this one changes the date that we've given into this RFC 3339 format. What does that mean? Well, it's a format that's used with Google Calendar, which is basically changes it into a long string with a date and a time in there. Okay, so you don't really need to understand, the code does it all for you. Now's the exciting part. Now we get to use an API or as is commonly called a webhook. So we're going to go into pipedream. Please use the affiliate code that I've put in the video. I'm not going to go over how we set an account up, so you can work that one out. We're just going to go for this add a trigger, just as we've seen, and continue. And then that's going to give us this URL. Okay, now we're going to go back to our Voiceflow. We've got a bit confused there. And we're going to put in that URL. And notice that I've set it up as a GET request there. And now we're going to put in two parameters. So we're going to pass 2 bits of data to the pipedream code. So A date, which is the beginning date that we're going to look at, and B date, which is the end date plus a bit of time. I've actually put it to midnight, from midnight to 11 p.m. Yeah. So you've got basically all day except for 1 hour. So now we're going to just put it in so we know that it's, when we use this, it's got back. And we're going to put this time slotting variable now. It's not going to work until later, this, the actual time slot variable. So we'll just run that through. And we're just going to put a valid date straight through. Okay. So there we go. It's got back to this text block, which shows us it's gone through pipedream and then come back. So if we go into pipedream again, you can see, look, one new event. So that data that we sent over, which is beginning and end date, was there. Now we just need to change this to return a custom response. Now we're actually going to put some code in this pipedream to do what we need it to do. Okay. So now we're going to, we've added a node, added a step, and we're going to look for retrieve a free or busy calendar. So some of this is blocked out because it's personal data. Now it's showing us what it wants us to access. You can change these if you like, but we're just going to go for select all for the time being. Now you can reset it so it's primary calendar, Yeah, but you can also select the name of the account that you're using as the main calendar date. But here we need to put in the data which we've sent, which is this RFC data. So we click on here with the query, we click on A date and B date, and we click select path. So just let me go through this. Yeah. Okay, so that's the first step. That's the trigger that we've done. This here is the data that it's got. And in the event, that's what we've sent them, a get event. And we've sent them A date and B date. Okay, so we select that and we'll put it in there, max time. And we're going to test that. Oh, sorry, we're going to put time zone in first of all. I'm just going to put in London. And then we're going to test that. So we can change which calendar we actually want to use within a calendar. Yeah, so you can have multiple calendars. I'm actually just going to put another one there, AI Dream clients, and we're going to test that calendar. Right, okay, yeah, it's looked at that calendar now and give us back the results. Right, great. So we're going to add another node now. So this is common. We're just going to press add and then node and then pass data between steps. Okay, so for each node we're going to create, that's all we're going to do. We don't need this code in here. All of the code that I'm going to give you will have it in the correct way. So we're just going to get rid of this now and post our first bit of JavaScript code in for pipedream. So this one here. This takes the answer that we've got from the Google Calendar, and it's going to work out what are the free periods. So we've got what the busy periods are. This code's going to take those busy periods and work out what periods in between are free. So just to let you know, I've put on here set hours. You can see 8:00. That's 8 in the morning. So 21:00, 9 at night. So we're saying that that's our business working hours. So you could put those in, change those to whatever your business working hours are if you wanted. There's another way of doing that, which I'll cover later on in the video. But that period is in this code in 2 places. So you'd need to change it in 2 places. Here's a little bit of code that changes what time zone you're in. Okay, I've put that for the UK time zone. And here you've got the 8 and so that would need to get changed again to if your working hours weren't 8 AM. And again, this one here, if your working hours weren't 9 in the evening. Yeah, so that's pretty easy for you to change. Okay. And this part here gets the last step. But I'm going to show you how to make sure that you've got that correct. So we're going to go into that last step. We're going to go to calendars. And we're going to find that busy one. There we go. So that's the busy calendar. That's the busy data that's come back with for us. So we're going to copy that. It's a location, if you like, or a variable within this pipedream. Okay, so there we go. We've pasted that in. We're going to test that. Okay, that's working fine. So we can see the free periods now that the code has worked out. Here there was no events in that calendar, so the whole day from 8 to 9 PM is free. Yeah, that's basically what it's telling us. Okay, so we're going to add another node now. Again, the same procedure. Just get rid of all of this. Oops. Now we need to go and get the other JavaScript code. And this is going to format the date for us into something that we as humans can understand. So just going to go back up to these nodes because I renamed this one free. And if you rename the node, yeah, that string or location will change. And you can also see the data from the previous steps. These are called steps, each one of these nodes. So you can see what the data was from those if you wanted to go back. Okay, so we'll just copy that all and we're going to paste it back there. It should be the same. Yeah, steps.free. So that's the name of the node. Free. We're going to change the name of this node to format. So we're going to go through test. I suggest you always go through test before going on and adding another node, because any changes that you've made will be passed on. So now we have the last stage here. You'll be happy to know. And this is how we're going to send the data back. So we're sending data under count and time slots. So we'll just make sure that the data is loaded correctly. So there we go. Copy that path from the format, and we're just going to double check that these are correct. Oops, I put the wrong one in there. So this one here is passing two values back. So I'll just go through that part again and show you. So this is what you would do. Go to count, copy the path, put it in that first one, count equals, and then we're telling it what step we're getting it from the format step and what value it is. Okay, and we go back to results. Now we'll go to time slots, copy that path, and we're going to put it in here. Okay, so we're saying get it from format time slots. Oops, little mistake there. That didn't copy and paste that properly. So that should now run and be no problem. Okay. So there we can see what's happened, where it's copied. Now we're going to deploy that now. So that means this is now live, and it's going to do what it needs to do and send the result back. So now we need to get those results. How we're going to do that? Well, we're going to use this capture response. So we've told the code there to send back something called count. So that's what we need to put it in here, count. And then we need to tell it what variable. So that's the count TS. Okay, now we need to add another one. And now this is our time slots. So if you go back in the code, you'll see time slots. You'll see how it's formatted. You could change the names. But if you keep them exactly the names like this, it should work for you. Okay, so now I delete the text message we have before. We're just going to put another one in now. So obviously you're going to put whatever you want on here. So we're going to show the following time slots that are free, that are available, and the customer can then choose a time slot, and then we can narrow it down and say, right, what hour do you want? Do you want it? And then they can then choose that. And in part 2 of this video, we're going to go on to how we can actually book the calendar. Okay, so here we'll just go through one more test now. So we're going to go through a day. We've got 4 appointments there. We need it to work out the times in between that are available. So here we go. So we had 4 appointments. We need it with the times that's in between those appointments that we already have. Okay, and there we go. So our first appointment's at 11:15. So we've got all the way from 8:46 to 11:14. Yeah. Okay, so we've got all these time slots free. So 4:46 to 9 p.m. Yeah, is 5 o'clock going to be okay for you? So that's how we're going on to finding out what the time slots that are available on any given day. Please don't forget to share this video with your friends or anyone else that you think it might be of interest to. And please don't forget to use the affiliate link for pipedream. I will be making some more videos in the future. And also, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to Liam Otley and all of those that have joined the AAA Accelerator program. Looking forward to seeing you there. Okay, so that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you find it really helpful. I will put the code in probably Google Docs for you so that you can look at the code and you can actually build this bot yourself. So please click on the subscribe button, maybe leave me a comment, click on a like, and as soon as I've got 1,000 subscribers, I will be posting part 2 of this video, which will show you how to take that data and to actually create an appointment for people, for your clients. So it completes that circle of finding a free period and then actually getting the client to be able to book an appointment.